guys, this is my intro video to the 2025-2026 season. This video is just going to contain me cleaning my traps, working on them, getting pan tension reset, going through dyeing, waxing, getting my dirt ready, just making sure everything's operational before we get too hot and heavy into the winter, and setting traps. Want to make sure everything's working properly. I'm going to try to get more videos out this year. I know last year I only got the one out, which was my first ever video. So last year's my first ever year videoing or doing anything like that. So I only got one out last year. I'm going to try to get more out this year. And I'm going to try to get better footage this year. So I bought a few new things. You might see this thing flopping around on my neck. It's a noise canceling mic. Last year there was a lot of days where I was out in the fields trapping, and I had to just delete the footage, or I just didn't even make the footage because of the wind was so bad. So this little thing's supposed to help. It should be on. You guys should be able to hear the difference. You guys shouldn't hear no really background noise. You got cars running down the road. You guys shouldn't hear none of that. It ain't super windy or nothing, but this is supposed to help with it, and I'm hoping it does. So that should help with the footage this year. And then we got one more thing here. I got me a tripod stand for my phone. And this thing is going to be amazing out in the field trapping, because I'll be able to set you guys up on this thing instead of trying to have to find my trapping bag, find a stick, a tree, a lure. I would use my bait bottles, try to fix you guys up last year. Just a pain in the butt, and you do not get the best footage. And sometimes I'd have to delete footage, of me making a set when I thought I got it and I didn't. Go back and rewatch it, and it's just a horrible view. You guys can't see nothing. This thing right here should change that. This should cut back on the wind, and it should be a lot better. Should be a lot better quality videos this year. And I'm gonna try to do more videos. I only got one out last year, like I said earlier, and that was like an hour, over an hour long. This year I'm gonna try to do more videos within the 20 to 30 minute range. I just want to show you guys the new mic, the new stand, and hopefully we get a lot more footage and a lot better footage out this year. So yeah, guys, this is the intro video to 2025-2026 season. Stick around, see how I clean, fix up, get my traps waxed and dyed, and get my dirt ready. If you guys more experienced trappers, of course I'm fresh into the trapping game pretty much. I've only been doing this for 2 to 3 years by myself. And if you guys that are more experienced see anything that I'm doing when I'm working on my traps that I could do better, or something that I'm doing that I shouldn't be doing, let me know, and I will for sure listen to every single one of you guys. I'm here to learn just as much as you guys are, and I appreciate you. Stick with me, and let's go get our traps ready for the season. All right, guys, so this is the first part of getting my traps ready for the season. I want to apologize for the long intro. I just wanted to show you guys the new stuff that I've got and kind of show my plan for the year. Anyways, this is my first step for getting my traps ready for the season. I cut this piece of 3-inch PVC here, kind of for a stand. Makes it easier to work on. Makes it easier to set my traps instead of flat on the bench. And when I'm doing a bunch of traps, I don't use these out in the field, but when I'm doing a bunch of them at a time, I always take them and use them, because it kind of saves time. They're easier, just helpful. So you heard the night latch on it. It looks pretty level. And I just got this year, just a couple months ago. This is Sullivan's trap tester. Stick out on your pan, push down. That's 1 pound, 2 pound, 3 pound, and 4 pound, and that's close to 5. Usually I like mine anywhere in between 2 and 3. I don't want 1, I don't want 4. So we're gonna stick it on here and see where we're at. So that's right around 2. I ain't mad about that one. 2.5 is probably what I would prefer. 3 pounds, I wouldn't try to adjust it neither. like I said, anywhere from 2 to 3, I'm not gonna really mess with it. And that seemed to be right on 2 pounds, so I ain't gonna mess with it. If it was under 2 pounds, you know, 1.5, I'd definitely try to get that pan tension up. And how I would do that is you get your dog, and I don't know if I can get this close enough for it to focus, but you can see the dog and the ledge. I would take my file and just try to run that edge back kind of straight, eat it back this way, and it would make for a little longer. If you want it less, you kind of file down on that, and that's how we do that. Just got to file your dog. And I'm new to all this, guys. I just started doing this a couple months ago, so I can't even say that I'm an expert on filing my dogs yet. I've had a couple traps here. I got this trap here that I can't seem to get just right, but that one seems good. And then once I realize the pan tension is good, I'll go through, I'll make sure all my swivels are good, make sure my ears, sometimes they'll get twisted. I'll have to take some pliers and twist them back. Your front legs there, which is, you know, you don't want them straight out where the trap can come apart. And then I'll go through, make sure all my swivels are good, make sure my trap tags are all right. Right there's my trap tag. This trap here. Some of my traps have both my grandpa's. They're some of his traps that he had originally. So you got his trap tag on some of them, and then mine on some of them, and then both on some of them. So there's my trap tag. It looks to be, you know, I fold them inside down so it won't be unreadable. Undo it, and it should read just fine. Then my D-rings, if they look bent or old or rusty, I'll take them off, put new ones on. That one there looks pretty good, so we're gonna set them over here in the good pile. All of these traps here are my good pile, and then the ones that need work are sitting right here. I kind of labeled so I don't get them mixed up, but this is my good pile over here. Sorry if I'm not getting that just right. I'm trying to do it with my back camera. All these ones are good, and the ones sitting here where it says need work, those are the ones that need work, or I need to order some parts for. Try to rebuild them. I've never done that before neither, so when I get into rebuilding some of these traps, or trying to put new jaws on some of them, because I do have like this trap over here. Over the winter, it cracked on me. The front jaw cracked on me right there. So I'm gonna try to get a new set of jaws for that one, and replace the jaw instead of getting a whole new trap. So that's pretty much the gist of this part of it. Whenever I first get a trap, let me go over here and get me a trap that hasn't been used. That other one I'd already worked on. But get me one that you can see, obviously, this is still got still fresh out of the ground. I just pulled it, laid it in here, and it hasn't been touched since. So it's still got grass and dirt and mud and all over it. And then you can see the anchor, it's got mud all over it. But we're gonna first we're gonna take this anchor off of it. And this is really the part of the process where I inspect my D-rings. It's not at the end like I showed on the other one. This is when I take if I have an earth anchor or a drag on them and I'm taking them apart to work on them. That's usually when I can tell whether my D-rings need replaced or not. And then I set them in here. Like I said, I can use my hands to do this, but after so many traps, it, you know, just kind of saves your hands and saves time. Looks like it might be one of my newer traps from last year, according to the dog. Set pretty good. Pan's real level to low, which is perfect. I like them just a little lower than the jaws. But I always do a dry fire knock all, you can see all that dirt and dust come off of it. When you go to reset them, after dry firing them, the pan will be good the first time, and then once you dry fire them, get all that rust and dirt knocked off, sometimes the pan height will be different. On this one, it's the same. It is level to low. Perfect. Or vice versa. Sometimes you'll set it after when you're going to work on them, and the trap pan will be way up high or way down low, and you'll think, man, I gotta adjust that. Dry fire it, reset it, and sometimes it'll be perfect after you get all that dirt and rust knocked off of it. And we'll see what this one's at, pan tension wise. See, that one's almost 4 pounds of pan tension, which is way high, in my opinion. I don't like 4 pounds of pan tension, so I'll definitely have to file that one back, which I think this is a newer trap, and I never did that when I first got them, because I didn't really, honestly didn't know about it, and didn't know about this tool, which makes it super, super nice. I used to just go off the feel of my finger, which is not accurate, of course. That one, 4 pounds of pan tension, and I would have never guessed it by just pulling the trigger. That's the process, guys. I appreciate you guys watching this far. After this, I'll show you a few more steps, the dyeing, the waxing part, and we'll get into the season. All right, so this is a new part of my getting ready for the season. I ain't never done this before. I've done it before. I've made my own bait, but not to this extent. This year, well, actually last year I started it. I ground up some mice, whole mice that I caught, dog food. Put it all through a food processor. There's the dog food that I chopped up, and then there's some deer meat. So this has got deer meat, mice, and dog food in it, and it's been sitting in my fridge in my trapping shed right there for about a year almost. I mean, like I said, this was last year when I was getting my traps ready. It's last fall, so it's not quite been a year, but it's been almost a year, and it's been sitting in there. And this is what it looks like. This has all been ran through a food processor, just chopped up now, and it's got a ripe smell to it. You can see some fur down in there from the mice, and you can obviously tell where the dog food is. And it is raunchy. It's rotten smelling. And now I'm just running it through this little grinder, this little cheap hand grinder that I bought, and just running it through, kind of making it more of a paste rather than just all clumpy and chunky. So we'll see how it works this year. We're out here still getting traps ready for the season, preparing them to get them waxed and dyed. And last year I had a trap that I had bought brand new and only used it once or twice. And while I was going to pull all my traps, and I had a stick set off the trap, and the front jaw, see if I can find them here, the front jaw cracked on me, and as I was messing with it here, taking them out, it broke completely in half. But I don't know quite why it did that. I've never had any of my other MB550s, which is all that I use, or the only traps that I use are MB550s. And I've never had any of the other ones do that. And especially being a brand new one, I have old traps here that's, I don't know how old they are, several years, and they've never cracked or showed any sign of damage on them at all. But I was going to buy a new set of jaws for it and change them. I've never changed the jaws on a trap, and I just figured I'd share with you kind of how how to do it. And I've already done it, but I'm gonna just show you guys really quick. I don't know, you guys can see how them jaws kind of come down and then they hook into your base plate. So what you're gonna do is you got 3 bolts. I've already got them out, of course, like I said, but you've got 3 bolts in your base plate. You take those out, and that base plate will pop right up out of those jaws, And then to take the other side out, the other hooked, you just release your springs, and then it's easier if you do it with your feet. You got both hands, or if you've got a set of these trap helpers, stick them on there. You stick your elbows on there, and then you got both hands to work with still, which is how I did it. But yeah, you just release your springs, take that side out, they just pop out, they'll just come right out. And then you put your new jaws in, you hook them into that side, and you get them lined up. And you want to get them lined up with, I had a little bit of trouble with with this jaw here that I was replacing. But you can see, I got another jaw here I'll show you guys on. You can see that offset right there. See that? If I get out of the road, I guess. But there's like an offset type of deal right there. Maybe you can see it better with my fingers. I don't know. Yeah, that maybe showed a little better. But you can see that offset there. And that offset is what catches on your ear to line you up better. And I was having trouble with both of my jaws lining up with each other. And like I'm having now. Of course, I got to make a video and it's gonna. There we go. But yeah, you want to get those offsets lined up on those ears, and then all you're gonna do is take your base plate and it'll pop right. Just do that again so you guys can see better. But you just take it like that, put it on those hooks, and it'll pop right in. And don't forget your chain, of course. Put it on. Then you're gonna put your three bolts back in, and there you go. That's all there is to it. It's actually pretty simple. So saved myself a little bit of money there. This is the old trap that I took them other jaws off of, which the jaws were still good, but this trap is just wore out. I don't know if you guys can see, the ears are real thin. I mean, it's probably one of the older traps I've got here. And it's probably caught a lot of coyotes on this one. Coyotes, coon, possum, everything else. But that was just an old wore out trap I was going to throw out, and I figured, well, if I can spare a couple parts off of it, why not? So I saved myself from buying a new set of jaws for that brand new trap that broke a jaw last year. But now I got a new jaw on that trap, and I got an extra jaw here to put up on the shelf for a spare. So I just wanted to add this little part in here on the getting my traps ready for the season. I just made an order from FNT. Every year I've been trying to add to my traps each year and grow my amount of traps that I have each year, but it's been kind of rough these last couple years because I can't really afford to buy 20, 30 traps at a time, or 10 even. They're 20 some bucks a piece. So I usually buy about 3 each year, 3 new traps. But these last couple years have been kind of rough because I told you guys earlier that I had a coyote actually take off with one. I think I had that happen once, maybe twice. I've obviously had a couple of the old ones just kind of get too worn out. They're just buy new, just decommit. I needed the jaws for my other trap, like you guys just seen. I changed my jaws. So I've had to get rid of a couple old ones, lost a couple new. So really I'm just kind of back to where I was starting last year. But I kind of wanted to just do one here, or maybe a couple. We'll see how far we get. But like I said, I haven't never done this on my new traps. That's why I had to go back this year. Like you guys seen with all of my other traps over there. And I had to do this with the trap tester. I've never done this when I first get them. I didn't even know you really had to be 100% honest with you. I always thought they just come factory set for 2 or 3 pounds, but apparently not always. So we're just gonna go ahead and see what these new ones are at. I just opened the box. The box is out there behind me, so I haven't messed with these. So we'll see what the factory set is on them. And levelness, it looks good. So we'll go ahead and see. That's about 3.5. We'll try it again. It's a little heavier than what I want. Might have to shave a little bit off of this one. And I don't know if I added this on my other one, but a lot of guys that I've seen, or not a lot, but a couple guys that I watched doing this, they recommend that you do it like this, with the front jaw set back so the jaw don't, or the trap jaws don't, the trap don't close on your set or your tester here. But it's got a rubber hose on it. It don't seem, I've done all of my traps with them multiple times, you know, and it don't seem to hurt it any with this rubber, rubber hosing over it. So, and it comes with that on it. And I find that if you do it with the front jaw back, the trap just goes to jumping crazy. This way, it kind of just stays put. We'll see where she's at. There's 1, 2, wait, yeah, 1, 2, right about 3. I'm actually going to keep it there. I thought it was 3.5. It was actually 2.5, or a little over 2.5 when it went off last time. It went off around 3 there. So that one there is actually pretty good. I'm not mad about it. Like I said, 2 to 3. If it's 3 pounds, I'm not going to adjust it. If it's 2 pounds, I'm not going to adjust it. And anywhere in between is good too. So we'll do another one here. Like level look, pan looks good on levelness. Make sure everything's tight on this. Right in the center of your trap. There's 1, 2, about 2.5. That one's perfect. So it might be pretty rare to get a trap fresh, you know, from the factory that's not set right. But you still probably want to go ahead and test them. You don't want to get a 5-pound pan tension out there and set it and not know about it. You're going to miss a lot of animals. You're going to get a lot of things that don't set it off. Or it could be 1 pound pan tension, and you're going to get a lot of things that you don't want to get. A lot of toes. Pan level looks good on that one. Third and final trap. Let's see what she looks like. 1, 2. Beautiful. That's right around 2.5, 3 pounds. I'd say they're in between 2.5 and 2 3/4. So those ones look good. I couldn't recommend Minnesota brand traps enough. That's what these are, M&B 550s. So that's what I've always used. That's what my grandpa was using when I started trapping with him, and that's what I've always used since. Duke traps are good traps too. They're actually a little cheaper than the MBs, but I just like the heavy duty build of the MB 550s. I don't know why I said it like that. I like the heavy duty build of the MB 550s. I always get the offset. I don't get the closed jaws anymore. We did have some closed jaws right here. Actually, some of the older traps will have closed jaws. I don't know how much of a difference it makes. I always wondered that if it like stopped the blood flow somehow, or they broke it, their foot somehow in it. I just always wondered if that would cause it to go numb, make them chew their leg off easier or something. I don't know. I just never had them get out of that. They ain't getting out of your offset jaws. So, and I think they're a little cheaper than the closed jaws. Don't hold me to that, but I think they are. Made some of these. They're about 6 foot long. All I did was, they don't slide or nothing. All I did was just make a loop. I watch a lot of Coon Creek Outdoors with Stu Miller. I like his channel a lot, and I've seen he made something similar to this, or it might be the same thing. But all it is just 2 loops on the end of a 6-foot cable. I don't know what gauge cable this is. Anyways, it's good. It's enough to hold a coon. That's all I want them for. Like if I'm trapping on a creek bank or something for coon, and I have nothing to set my earth anchor into, I can go around a root. My trap's on this end. I can run it through there, and then you've got a nice, 6-foot cable to hold your coon on there if you ain't got nothing to anchor to. Or heck, I might end up making a lot more of these for all my coon traps. For my dog proofs is what I run for coon mostly. And I might be making a lot more of these for all of them. Might be a lot quicker than driving a stake in the ground. And there's always trees or something to anchor around whenever I'm out there trapping. So anyways, guys, that's it. And if you order, I don't remember, I think it's order from $50 or more from FNT, you get a free gift. And I choose, this is my second FNT hat. I wore the other one out, so I got me another one for free as I ordered $50 or more than $50 worth of stuff. But I just want to show you guys that. I want to show you guys, and I wanted to see for myself really, and I figured I'd share that with you, whether the traps are set to the right pan tension when you first get them. Like I said, some of these traps that I've got last year and the year before that was new was like a 4. You guys, I think I showed you guys a couple of them. There's like a 4.5. Well, it was over 4. This bottom line's 4, and it was over 4. So, and I don't know if that happened after they was out in the field or if that's what it came with factory. So I'll for sure use that tester every time I get new traps, just to make sure they're right. I don't want to set a wrong pan tension out there and miss an animal. But all right, that's all I got for you right at the moment. Gonna get these traps. Obviously, I got to get them soaked in some Dawn dish soap water to get the oil off of them, and then I'll set them out there and let them rust for a little bit, and then we'll be ready to dye and wax trap. So here's our next part to getting our traps ready for the year. I got my 2 little helpers here, and little girls helping, and we're getting our wax dirt made. There's our wax dirt. Getting the first pot warmed up, and then we got our traps in here. They're boiling, getting all that old wax and stuff burn off of them, and we'll burn them in there for a little bit, and then we'll drain all that old wax off the top, and then we'll throw our dye in. So that's pretty much it, guys. We're just gonna sit here and watch dirt cook and traps boil. So. All right, we got our first batch of dirt cooling here. You got to keep moving it and stirring it and chopping it up, because if not, your wax will harden on you and you'll get big clumps, and which you don't want that. So you just got to keep chopping it like that and keep stirring it up while it cools down. And then we got our second batch here heating up, and you want it hot enough to where you just can't keep your finger in there. Then we'll take 18 cups of dirt to 3 cups of wax. We'll just sprinkle that in there, stir it around, and once that wax melts, you take it out and put it onto the table, let it cool, chop it up, and we got our traps here boiling. You can see all that old dirt, rust, and wax coming to the surface. And here in just a minute, I'll put the hose back in there. We'll fill it up, let it drain out all that old stuff off the surface, and we'll throw our 4 bags of logwood trap dye in there, and we'll be ready to go. And until then, we're gonna keep cooking dirt and boiling traps. So. Got the 2 little girls working hard.
I'm not a girl. Please stop calling me a girl.
Xavier on the beat.
All right, we're about to put some more water in here. Once the slowpoke starts getting that water turned on. Did you turn it on?
A few moments later.
All right, now that we got the water situation figured out, we're gonna stick this down in there and just let it fill up until it starts draining out. And while we're doing that, we're still cooking dirt. And once you put your wax in and you mix it all up, to really know how you're done, is that's wax, or that's dirt before the wax, and then this is dirt after the wax. If you get them next to each other, you can really tell the difference. It kind of looks like your dirt's wet, and that's when you really know you're done, or your wax is completely melted into the dirt. And then you can always use orange Fanta to test the wax dirt real good.
You don't have to use orange Fanta.
You don't have to, but it's best.
Yeah.
So that's pretty much it on the wax dirt side. It's real easy once you know your proportions. Like I said, we did 18 cups, which is a gallon, to 3 cups of the flaked wax we got there. So just stir it up, get it hot, put your wax in, stir it up, melt it up, and then you got to keep stirring it once it's cooling. And then you're ready to go. And we'll keep boiling our traps. So, got anything to say? Keep it pretty simple.
Yeah.
Men a few words.
Evan, got anything to say? Not yet.
Not yet, but there is more to come.
Ooh, hot.
Yeah.
You can definitely tell it's wax. Stick your finger in it.
So there's the draining. You sit here and watch hard enough, you'll see
Xavier
parts
on
of
the beat.
rust and wax and stuff drain out throughout there. We'll go for a little bit until we think most of it's drained off. Then we'll throw our dye in. Try to take some of this and skim off the top wax. But now that I took the hose out, it's really draining that top of that wax off real good. So I'll do this a few times. I'll fill it up, let it drain off, and we should be good to put our dye in. You can see it's really draining the top of that wax off real good now. It made a big difference when I took that hose out. It was draining the water right underneath of the layer of wax. It wasn't draining the top surface. It filled up above that hole and was draining up underneath of the wax. So I took that hose out, and now it's draining all of that top layer of wax off. And all the little rust chunks and dirt. And really this part is just cleaning your traps. So they take, just to clean them up before you put the dye on them a little bit. And if you have your traps, some of your traps still have wax on them, they're not going to be, they wouldn't take the dye real good if they still had wax on them. Now we'll let that drain off, and we'll come over here and tend to our wax dirt. That looks pretty good to me.
Ready? Evan, put your finger in that dirt. See if it's nice and cool. Here. No, I'm talking about that dirt.
I thought you was going to be a mean brother there for a second. Is it cool to the touch, or is it still quite a bit warm? I'd say we're good. Let me put this up, and then you don't want to put your wax dirt away when it's hot, because then it'll clump up. That's the whole process of this, is cooling it down. That little bit of burnt looking dirt. Okay, let me show them that. That little bit of burnt dirt on the top there, that don't hurt nothing. It'll mix right in with all the other dirt and won't hurt a thing. When I first did this, I thought that the burnt smell would leave a smell and kind of scare your animals off, but I don't think it makes much of a difference. I've caught them on it ever since I've been making it. So. All right, we're just about done draining that wax and crud all off the top of the surface. We're gonna add our dye here in just a second. Like I said, this is the dye we're using, just some logwood trap dye. And when I move to a bigger bucket like this, or half a 5 gallon or 50 gallon drum, one of my mistakes I made was I only used one bag, just like if I was dyeing in a pan like that, like I used to. I used one bag, and my traps wasn't taking my dye right, and I didn't know why. Well, you're supposed to use one bag of trap dye to every 5 gallon of water. So now I use about four bags of trap dye, and they take just fine. So.
Before you put wax in, you just stir it. You don't have to stay by it. You like stir it for a minute, and then once you're done stirring it, just about a minute, you can walk away for you can't walk away for over a minute probably. I don't know. You can walk away for a minute. That's max.
All right, we got all of our dye in there. We're gonna get her stirred up. I'm not very specific on this kind of stuff, as you can see. That was the same water that we boiled and cleaned our traps in. Just let the top surface crud and grime drain off. And we're just gonna heat this water back up, get it to a nice little simmer, and get all this dye mixed in. Throw all of our traps back in there. All right, we're gonna take a lunch break here and just put our traps in the dye, and we'll leave them on there for about an hour, and we'll see how good they take to them, and then we'll judge whether we're gonna keep them in there or not. But we're gonna take a quick little break and watch our traps boil a little more. Little 15-minute lunch break, and we're back in business. Got Henry starting to make some more wax dirt. We've got our traps over here boiling in our dye. And you can see it'll seep out just a little bit there as it boils. Of course, the water levels raise.
That's all right.
That's all right.
Backyard.
Yeah, this is what happens when you let your wax dirt cool without stirring it. It gets kind of hard, but you don't really have to worry about it because it just crumbles up. So, I mean, that's still good, usable dirt. It just pumps up a little bit. Our traps have only been in there for about 20 minutes.
And it's all rust is falling on.
They're looking pretty good already. So, and them's brand new traps that weren't very well rusted. And they're taking the dye really well. So, and like I said, it's only been about 20 minutes, but doing pretty good. All right, our trap dye's starting to boil good. So it's been about, I'd say what, a half hour?
Yeah.
So I'd say we got about another half hour. Just let it set in there and simmer. And
What we mean by that?
kind of like your dirt's boiling. You're definitely hot enough when it's doing that. You ready to put your wax in?
Yes, yes.
Pretty warm. I always like to test. I always like to test my batches every once in a while. So just take a little bit, make a little bowl in it, and just a little bit of water. And I'd say that's good. Beads right off of it. And just get rid of that water. Throw that dirt in there.
all of it off.
There we go. All right, well, we just cut the heat to our trap dye here. And
Smell that red wine.
they sure did take to it pretty good.
No, red wine.
There they are. They look real good. We're gonna let them dry here for a minute. And there's some new traps right there. Them two right there's new, or three. And they took to the dye really well. I've never had new traps like this. This is the best year for my new traps. These are new traps here, and man, they took to the dye really well.
And that's the part that never ever catches every year.
Yeah, they always for the new traps. They never look that good, do they?
You see what they never catch even on old traps.
Nope. All right, we decided to go with a smaller pot here because we're just gonna be dipping one set of traps out in it at a time, anyways. So ain't no sense in filling this big pot up again just to wax them. So we went with the smaller pot. The water will get up to temp a lot quicker. And once that wax is melted, we'll start dipping them, and then we'll be done with our traps.
It's ready.
Just stick your finger in there.
You gotta wax yourself. But it burned so bad. Yeah. Oh. To keep it from blistering.
The wax is starting to melt.
Backyard.
All right, we're ready to wax our traps now.
Got the wax melting in here.
Stick them all in there.
About a minute, and then they're done.
Get them submerged. You only keep them in there for about 60 seconds, just long enough to get them warm enough to where when you pull them out, the wax sticks to your traps.
You already see the wax?
Yeah, that's what I mean. When that water settles down, you'll be able to see all that wax.
And it's all stirred up and sticking to a line. Starting to boil itself again. It's probably about traps are done there.
Hold that.
You guys see this? But I don't know if we're going to be able to get a lot of wax. Like Fisher. It may not turn.
All right, we should be good. Let that settle a little bit.
Show you what it looks
Pull
like
them
when
up
the
through.
wax. They're definitely wax. It never stuck too good. Just on the bottom.
Not on the bottoms, it won't.
That's probably what sat on the bottom then. I never sat too.
Backyard.
Sap on my hands, I'm not sure.
I don't know. I hate when I get it in my nose. One time I done that and I pulled it out and it whipped my hair out. I had a bald spot all the way through the skull. And people asked me, what happened to your hair? It's like, kind of pulled the chunk out, trying to sap on my hair. And then they found a huge chunk of hair on my desk one day. And he's like, I found this hair on your desk.
Just want a real thin layer of wax. When you pull it out, it looks like water dripping off of it. And that's it. You can see the real thin layer of wax on the traps. And of course that one's the last batch, so it's still drying. You can't really see it very well, but these first ones, you can see the real thin layer. You don't want no big, thick layer of wax, but that's just about perfect. We're ready for trapping season now, and I think tomorrow we're gonna go out and set a few traps, ain't we?
Yeah.
That's gonna conclude our video of getting our traps ready for the season. It might be a little longer than all my other videos, but it's a lot that goes into it. So I'm glad you guys stuck around. All right, guys, thanks for watching. If you haven't already, like, subscribe, and we'll see you on the next one.